Part 61. My evil Imperial wife is too arrogant, trash against the world, BlackBelly evil wife is too arrogant. Author, Lan by Gezi. Chapter 601. Lum Wan was swept away by the beam of light with a sacred aura, and the black glass ball suspended here also turned into a black light and drilled into the space crack. Ming Xiu stared at the space crack that had been bridged, and his expression was uncertain. After a long time, Long Yao sighed and appeared beside him and patted his shoulder and said, "It's not bad for her to teleport to the Guangling world through the space power of the upper realm in advance. The transmission from here is not a reception platform established by the human race at all. After I ascended to the Guangling world, I don't know where to go to find her." Ming Xiu squinted his eyes, and his voice was cold. Lum Wan was shrouded in space teleportation so quickly through the influence of the black glass ball tearing space, and under the influence of the law, it was forcibly transmitted to the interface of Tianling continent. Once the nodes in the space deviate, they will be randomly teleported to a corner of the Tianling continent's human domain, instead of being teleported to a fixed reception desk. The human domain is composed of countless large and small regions, and it will be more difficult for him to find her after he ascends to the Guangling realm. He was not afraid of trouble, but he was afraid that she would be in danger, so he put this account on the body of the three saintess. "You don't have to worry about it. She also has Mo Yan and Jun Luoqin who are very familiar with the Guangling realm." Long Yao shrugged and continued, "With the ability of the hostess, you will be able to get along well in the Guangling world. It is only a matter of time before you find her. That woman will definitely not be able to stay safe when she arrives in the Guangling realm." Ming Xiu glanced at Long Yao and said, "I am more worried if Mo Yan and Jun Luoqin are with me." Long Yao asked inexplicably, "Why?" "The two of them are so familiar with the Guangling realm, and they will definitely not let the hostess suffer. Don't forget that both of them are great enemies, and it is difficult for them to protect themselves. If they are discovered by the enemies of the demon realm, wouldn't Yanner be dangerous?" Ming Xiu frowned deeply. Although Mo Yan and Jun Luoqin are beneficial to Yanner to understand the Guangling world, the disadvantages are even more dangerous. Even if the hostess doesn't have Mo Yan and Jun Luoqin by her side, she will be in trouble. "When did she keep a low profile?" Long Yao whispered. With a rare anger in his eyes, Ming Xiu asked in a dark voice, "Stupid dragon, what did you say?" "That's all because his woman is too good, even if he always wants to keep a low profile, but unfortunately he always takes the initiative to find a, which is also a point of concern for him." "Ah," Long Yao said with a sly smile, "I said that the mistress is very powerful and will definitely sweep the quartet." Ming Xiu rolled his eyes at him, raised his hand and rubbed the blue bracelet that suddenly appeared out of his hand. The blue bracelet and the ice bracelet are a pair, and both his and Lum Wan's soul imprints are imprinted on them. If one party encounters an accident, the other's breath on the bracelet will weaken or disappear. Although Lum Wan's soul imprint has weakened a bit, it also indicates that she is still alive, and he feels that she has left this interface. If it wasn't for the breath of the green bracelet telling her that she was safe, otherwise he felt that he would be insane. Looking at Ming Xiu's unpredictable expression, Long Yao rolled his eyes and said, "Are you going to advance now, and then fly to the Guangling world?" "My affairs in Tianling continent have not yet been completed." Ming Xiu sighed and said, "The Lu family and the ancestors of Tianxian have no idea that Yanner has soared. If I leave now, they will have to die in a hurry. The person that Yanner values most in this interface will be placed in the Ascension Guangling world for her. Although he can't wait to find her in his heart, he has to fulfill her wish." "That's right. Anyway, I don't know that she will be teleported to that corner after the change of the space node." "It's useless to worry." Long Yao nodded, "the hostess attaches the most importance to her relatives and friends, and I definitely hope you can help her settle down." "Those people." There was a rare look of helplessness in Ming Xiu's phoenix eyes, and he looked deeply at the direction of space bridging. After a while, he turned around and disappeared at the bottom of the Xianxia cliff. On a remote mountain road in Guanglingja, a somewhat embarrassed woman was lying beside a big tree with her eyes closed tightly. Half a day later, 3 carriages drawn by the gust of wind passed by here. When they saw the woman in red with her eyes closed with disordered breath above the big tree, she showed her vigilance. The carriage stopped not far away, and 2 young women and a young man stepped down from the leading carriage. A yellow-clothed woman wearing a veil wanted to walk towards the tree, but was pulled by a pink-clothed woman next to her, and said disapprovingly, "Sister, aren't you kind-hearted and want to meddle in your own business?" The woman in yellow was stunned, looked at the woman under the tree, thought about it, and said, "She seems to be injured, and there are monsters in the wilderness at night, she will be very dangerous." "But what if she's a bad person?" the pink-clothed woman frowned. "I don't think she is a bad person," the woman in yellow said, "I'll go over and take a look first." After she finished speaking, she walked towards the big tree without waiting for the woman in pink to speak. She stretched out her hand to probe the injured woman's breath, took her pulse again, and said to the 2 of them, "She was seriously injured and passed out, you help me get her into the carriage." The woman in pink looked a little displeased. "Sister, since you want to save people, save yourself. I don't have the spare time to take care of this kind of shit." After she finished speaking, she turned around and entered the carriage angrily, scolding the woman in yellow in her heart. The only young man sighed and walked over to help put the man on the carriage. Just after the people were put away, a few people walked down from the 2 carriages that followed. The woman in yellow explained, but was reprimanded by several people, and then an old man walked to the carriage to take a look, and said in a deterrent voice, "Okay, since Anuan has already rescued people into the carriage, there is no need to do so. More to say, let's hurry first." "Yes, great elder." Others had different expressions, and in the end they didn't say any more, but they looked at the woman in yellow with disapproval. Now is the key for them to escort the dart car, and this eldest lady doesn't know why she is going crazy to save a woman of unknown origin. It's just that the elders have spoken, and they don't want her to throw people out of the carriage, leave a few words to let her take care of people by herself, and then get on the carriage again. After the woman in yellow got into the carriage, she took out an elixir and fed it into the mouth of the unconscious woman. She knew a little about facial expressions and saw that the injured person was not a bad person, so she rescued her. Mind. When the family was sending darts, she naturally couldn't save people indiscriminately. There will be monsters here at night. This woman is in a coma and will become food for monsters. She can't help her. After the woman in pink got on the carriage, she leaned against the carriage and closed her eyes, ignoring the woman in yellow. The young man thought about it and asked, "Sister, do you need any help?" "No need, she suffered internal injuries. I fed her Qi Yang Dan. After she wakes up, she will recover after a period of recuperation." The woman in yellow shook her head and said. The young man stopped talking, nodded, and leaned against the car on the other side and closed his eyes. The woman in yellow took out a water bag from the space ring and used silk to clean the face of the injured woman. After checking the injury, she turned and sat next to the woman in pink. The 3 of them didn't pay attention. The long eyelashes of the red-clothed woman who had been in a coma moved slightly. The person who was rescued by the woman in yellow was Lum Weian, who was forcibly swept into the Guangling world by that divine power. My evil imperial wife is too arrogant, trash against the world. BlackBelly evil wife is too arrogant. Author, Lan by Gezi. Chapter 602. Lum Weian closed his eyes tightly and used his mental power to explore the situation in his body. The inside of the dungeon was a mess, the breath was disordered, and the inner abdomen was seriously injured, and even a trace of spiritual power could not be used. Fortunately, the green sea of fog was frantically repairing the dungeon and meridians. Now that she thinks of the scene in the space crack, she still has some lingering fears. After being forced to advance to break through the sword god, the space law of the two realms will come automatically, and she will be swept away by the power of the law and go to the Guangling realm. Who knew that the black glass bead inspired by Ling Qiu also entered the space crack and exploded next to her? That force not only changed the nodes of space, but also suffered from space turbulence, which made her deeply affected when she left the interface. Seriously injured. She kept this account well in her heart, and in the future she will find the body of the three saintess to retrieve it. If she hadn't practiced the witch god art, her body was so strong that she might have been torn apart by the spatial turbulence the moment she was introduced to the Guangling world. Such sequelae also caused her body to no longer be able to withstand the injury and fell into a coma. Fortunately, her mental power was no longer suppressed after reaching the Guangling world, so her body was in a coma, but her consciousness was clear. However, after experiencing this space turbulent storm, she found that her state of mind was instantly sublimated, and the layer of magic that had been bound has completely disappeared. Since she was killed in a space storm in her previous life, some shadows were actually left in her heart, but after experiencing this incident, the knot in her heart was completely opened. The benefits of cultivating the witch god art are also reflected in such a harsh environment. As long as her art is one step closer, not only does she no longer have to fear the strangulation of space turbulence, she can even walk in space cracks. Therefore, it is said that misfortune depends on fortune, and blessing and misfortune lie down. Before the carriage arrived, her mental power had already detected the other party. Although she could not move her body and her spiritual pets were locked in the bell artifact and could not come out, Jun Luokan in the pendant was able to move freely. Therefore, she was not afraid that the people in the carriage could misbehave or rob her. First, all the important things on her body were thrown into the bell artifact. Without her spiritual power and soul power, others could not open it. Second, the highest cultivation level among this group of people was only the Sword Emperor, and Jun Luokan did not need to use the pendant. Come out and kill it. As long as these people think about it, she can let Jun Luokan take action, but she didn't expect that someone in this group would actually save her. She was going to slowly recover from her wounds here. After all, she didn't know anything about the Guangling world. She felt that the woman who saved her did not have any malicious intentions, but she simply couldn't do it without saving her. The carriage kept walking forward, and after a long time, the young man asked the woman in yellow, "Eldest sister, is she a swordsman or an ordinary person?" The she in his mouth naturally refers to Lum Wian. The woman in yellow replied, "She should be a swordsman, but Danshan was seriously injured at this time, and I couldn't see her cultivation." Danshan was seriously injured? Isn't that a cripple? The woman in pink, who had not spoken, frowned and looked at the woman in yellow and said, "Sister, I really don't know that you saved a person who was about to be disabled. Why, it's a waste to feed her a chi-nourishing pill." "Well, it's my business, so you don't need to worry about it." The woman in yellow frowned slightly and said, slightly unhappy. This half-sister has never been accustomed to seeing her since she was a child, and targeted her everywhere. If it weren't for her talent in alchemy, and now she is a second-rank alchemist and pharmacist, the family would have given up on her long ago. She is only saving one person now. Except for the first elder and the younger brother, everyone else dislikes her, and it is a lie to say that she is not cold-hearted. The clay figurine still has 3 points of anger, not to mention that she usually doesn't say anything, but she understands everything in her heart. Just because she is too lazy to confront those people doesn't mean she can let others handle it. Wu Ya sneered and sarcastically said, "Sister, don't forget the important task of our trip this time. You will drag down the family with a waste of time. After I go back, I will worry about how you will explain to your father. This is my business, so you don't have to worry about it," Wu Nuan replied lightly. Wu Ya snorted and turned her head to the side, "As you wish." The space of the carriage quickly became quiet again. After walking for about half a day, the sky gradually darkened. Lum Wan felt that her body was able to move, and the divine consciousness released instantly returned. She slowly opened her eyes, and immediately met a pair of clear and bright eyes. "Are you awake?" Wu Nuan asked warmly. Lum Wan just wanted to speak, when a burst of discomfort came from her lungs. She coughed violently. Wu Nuan took out a water bag and helped her to feed her a few mouthfuls. She hasn't felt so powerless for a long time. She can't use her spiritual power, and her body hurts like a mortal. Although Lu Wu is repairing her dantian, the injury is too serious this time, and it will take some time to recover, at least tomorrow. The most important thing is that she can't use her spiritual power. She can't even open the bell space and the space ring in her hand, and she can't get out the high-quality medicinal pills to heal her injuries for the time being. "Thank you," Lum Wan's voice was hoarse. Wu Nuan wore a veil, and although he couldn't see the expression on his face, his eyes conveyed a very warm feeling. "The internal injury in your body is serious. I fed you an elixir, but it can't heal you because of the low level. You still need a good rest recently." Lum Wan slowly exhaled, smiled, and said, "Thank you for saving me." "You're welcome, it's just a little effort," Wu Nuan said with a light smile. "Heh, it's not the family's carriage that you're sitting in," Wu Ya pouted and sneered. Wu Nuan frowned and ignored her, looked at Lum Wan and asked, "Miss, do you have any family? If so, I'll bring you a letter back." She has a lark pigeon specially designed to transmit messages, which can be sent as long as the distance is not too far. "My family and I are separated, and I don't know where they are now." Lum Wan's expression darkened. She really doesn't know where her mother and Ming Xiu are. Before Ming Xiu was about to tell her about his identity in the Guangling world, he was interrupted by the sudden war. Who would have thought that they would be temporarily separated so soon? I don't know if Ming Xiu has ascended to the Guangling world. The Lu family's relatives and masters should know about her ascension, right? Wu Nuan was startled. "It's okay, then you should recuperate here first." Seeing that Wu Ya was about to speak again, Wu Nuan immediately said to her, "I will tell the elder, you don't have to worry about it." Wu Ya glared at her and stopped talking. Her face was very bad. Lum Wan and Wu Nuan were too lazy to care about her. "Then I'm sorry," Lum Wan smiled at Wu Nuan. "It is inevitable to stay here to recover from the injury, at least to be able to remobilize a little spiritual power to open the bell space and release a few spiritual pets." Wu Nuan made her feel very comfortable, so a woman with such a transparent state of mind did not know what she had experienced, but her appearance would be completely ruined. With her mental power, she could naturally find that the face under the warm veil was full of scars. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My evil imperial wife is too arrogant, trash against the world, BlackBelly evil wife is too arrogant. Author, Lan by Gezi. Chapter 603. Not long after Lum Wan woke up, the carriage stopped, and the voices of the rest of the convoy came. Eldest Miss, Fourth Miss, Fifth Young Master, the first elder asked to get off the carriage and set up camp for one night. A middle-aged man's voice sounded outside the car. Wu Ya jumped out of the carriage first, and ran to the second and third elders without looking back to speak ill of Wu Nuan. In the end, she was reprimanded by the first elder and did not continue. The fifth young master Wu Zhou and Wu Nuan were preparing to help Lum Wan get off the carriage. Lum Wan smiled at the two and said, "Thank you. I can go by myself." Although the second-grade Qi Yang Den before Wu Nuan was of little use to her injury, it was somewhat helpful to her body. After she fell asleep, she was able to move around freely. Wu Zhou took advantage of the moonlight to notice Lum Wan's appearance, and was immediately stunned by that stunning face, his face a little red. Before her hair was messy, they didn't pay attention to her appearance, they didn't expect to be so beautiful. Wu Nuan saw that although Lum Wan was able to walk on her own, it was still a little difficult, so she stepped forward to help her and asked, "What is your surname, miss?" "My name is Lum Wan, what about you?" Lum Wan smiled and asked back with an easygoing smile. "My name is Wu Nuan, he is my brother Wu Zhou." Wu Zhou scratched his head shyly and said with a smile, "Hello, Miss Lu." "Hello, young Master Wu," Lum Wan nodded with a light smile. She could see that the Great Elder and Wu Zhou were the only ones in the group who treated Wu Nuan well, and most of the others catered to Wu Yat. In particular, many young men who got off the carriage revolved around Wu Ya, and it was quite a feeling that the stars were holding the moon. After they got off the carriage, a bonfire was lit in front of them, and many people were busy setting up tents. Seeing Wu Nuan helping a stunning-looking woman over, the others were surprised, with different expressions, and they didn't know if the elders had greeted them, but they didn't come to trouble. There were several young family disciples who would peek at Lum Wan from time to time, but she was completely ignored by her. Wu Ya didn't take a close look at Lum Wan's appearance on the carriage before, but now, against the background of the bonfire, the woman seemed even more beautiful and moving, and she felt a sour feeling in her heart. She found that many people around her would look in Wu Nuan's direction from time to time. She knew that it was looking at the woman named Lum Wan, otherwise who would look at a disfigured woman. She felt more and more uncomfortable, so she ran to the third elder and muttered a few words. After sitting by the bonfire for a while, Wu Ya walked over with a thin old man. "Wu Nuan, I heard that you gave this unidentified person a second-grade qi nourishing pill." The skinny old man's tone was somewhat sharp. He scanned Lum Wan and found that her temperament was calm, and after she was full of extravagance, her fierceness subconsciously subsided a lot. Wu Nuan raised her head and said lightly, "Third elder, that Qi Yang pill was refined from the spirit grass I picked myself, and it's not a family thing. I don't need to ask anyone to take it out for me, right?" The third elder said without a smile, "Since it is your own thing, we naturally can't control it, you should know for yourself." The first elders have always been partial to Wu Nuan, and they don't want to damage her face too much. Moreover, Wu Nuan was a second-rank alchemist. Although it did not help them much in their cultivation, he was able to refine medicine pills for the younger disciples of the family. She is also a third-grade pharmacist, and this time the task is very important, and if someone in the family is injured, she can use it. As long as they don't use the family's resources, they don't care about saving a crippled person. Wu Ya was a little annoyed, but just as she was about to speak, the third elder stopped her with his eyes, and then stomped her feet and went to sit by another bonfire. The third elder watched Wu Ya stomped away and sighed, "This girl was really spoiled by the owner. Why is it so obvious to hate Wu Nuan?" Although the family does not pay attention to Wu Nuan, it has not completely abandoned her. If she can teach herself to become a second-rank alchemist, if she can be promoted to third rank or fourth rank in the future, it will also be useful to the family. After a few people left, Wu Nuan said apologetically to Lum Wan, "I'll let you see a joke." "It's okay, every family has a scripture that is difficult to read." Lum Wan smiled indifferently. After chatting a few words at random, she walked under a big tree and sat cross-legged to rest, and the green sea of fog in her body kept running to repair her injuries. At the same time, her mental power was also released to cover 100 miles, and people sitting not far away also listened to a lot of conversations. Judging from the content of the pedestrians' conversation, Wu Nuan's family is in the business of escort bureaus, and the usual training resources are obtained from darts. This time, I took on a very important task, and the darts I held were of great value, so I also sent out the elders who had the strongest Sword Emperor cultivation base in the family. Lum Wan listened to it casually, and probably put her mind on the recovery of cultivation. She guessed that this place is probably a poor place in the Guangling world, otherwise the cultivation base in a family is considered to be high, and it is only the Sword Emperor, and the strength is not as strong as that of a first-class family in the Tianling continent. If she hadn't felt the aura around her that was dozens of times more abundant than that of the heavenly spirit continent, she would have almost doubted whether it was transmitted to other lower-level interfaces by the black glass ball. The night passed like this, and before the sun rose, the group began to continue on their way. Because of Wei's presence in the carriage, few people spoke very little. Lum Weian also relied on the carriage to quickly absorb the spiritual energy of heaven and earth to replenish his danshan, and convert it into spiritual energy. After breaking through the sword god, a danshan will condense a yuan dan. Others are fully prepared when they advance, and the power of the law of heaven and earth will also give the advanced swordsman enough time to condense the yuan dan before teleporting. But because of the influence of the power of the black glass bead of the three saintess, she was only sent to the future and the yuan dan was successfully condensed. After being teleported, he was seriously injured and his cultivation became unstable and he fell back to sword god's cultivation. In fact, he was teleported without being promoted. But she was not disappointed, and she was more fortunate. After all, as far as she knows, the sword master's yuan dan plays a crucial role in future cultivation. The grade of Ning's yuan dan is also divided into low grade, middle grade, high grade, and top grade, which is similar to that of Ning Jianyao Mansion. Workplace. If her cultivation still hasn't dropped, then her sudden promotion to the condensed yuan dan is only a half-finished product, so it is barely a low grade, which will seriously affect her future cultivation. Now that it is transferred back to sword god like this, it is rare to see the situation where the yuan dan in danshan has not yet condensed, and she can be regarded as a blessing in disguise. Now that the injured cultivation base can only be recovered slowly, she is not in a hurry to break through the sword god again. For the top quality yuan dan, she has to prepare well. My evil imperial wife is too arrogant, trash against the world, BlackBelly evil wife is too arrogant author, Lan by Gezi. Chapter 604. After Lum Weian rested in the carriage for 5 days, the green fog in his body repaired most of the injuries of danshan, and his cultivation level returned to the peak of Jian zone. Cultivating the witch god art can hide her cultivation base or change her cultivation base at will, so the Wu family members who traveled together did not find that her cultivation base had recovered. In the past 10 days, Lum Weian's time has been used to restore her cultivation. Wei occasionally came to find fault and was ignored by her. A few young men came to talk to her and she was coldly dismissed. On this day, Zayalai found an open place to rest for the night. The day was slightly bright and the carriage was ready to continue its journey. After passing the canyon in front, you can reach Qingzhou City, the three elders said with a smile, staring not far away. The first elder frowned and said, "The terrain in that canyon is dangerous, and it is a place where robbery often happens. We must be more careful when we go there." "Yes, we have all walked for so long, so we can't have an accident on the last section of the road," the second elder nodded in agreement. "Okay, tell them to be vigilant when they are near the canyon. As long as we have passed the canyon, our mission of guarding this time is more than half completed." The elder always felt that the road was too peaceful, and there was an unspeakable sense of danger. "Yes." Wu Ya turned her eyes when she heard the words of the first elder, and glared at Wu Nuan and Lum Weian, and then proudly sat in the second elder's carriage. Wu Nuan knew what she was thinking. If she really encountered danger in the canyon, the first carriage would be the most unsafe. Before Wu Zhou got on the carriage, he was also called to the third carriage with darts. His cultivation was the highest among the younger Wu family members, so he needed to guard the dart carriage with others at key locations. Wu Nuan and Lum Weian got into the first carriage. After walking for a short distance, Lum Weian opened her eyes and looked at Wu Nuan and asked with a smile, "Nuan, can you tell me about your place?" Wu Nuan wondered why Lum Weian asked such a question, and then guessed that she might be from another place. "We are the most remote and barren land in the northern part of the human territory. The Qingzhou city in front is a large trading city in the North China. Our Wu family is based in another small city, which is almost a second-rate family in that city. Lum Wan thought for a while and asked, are there many countries in the northern part of human territory? Yeah. There are countless large and small countries and families in the human domain. Wu Nuan looked at Lum Wan and asked curiously, Wan, are you not familiar with Renaiu? Yeah. I was teleported to the Guangling world from another interface, and then I was seriously injured when I encountered spatial turbulence during the teleportation. Lum Wan thought about it and told Wu Nuan. She believes that she is quite accurate in seeing people. After so many days of getting along, she knows that Wu Nuan is a person who can be trusted. The most important thing is that she observed these few days and found that Wu Nuan has basically become cold-hearted towards the Wu family, and her talent for alchemy is extremely strong. The Wu family is a buried pearl, so she wants to take Wu Nuan away. Ming Xiu and her mother have extraordinary identities. If she wants to be accepted by those close to them, she must become very strong, so she plans to slowly form a force in the Guangling world. The first person she saw was Wu Nuan, who was kind and clear but not ignorant. Wu Nuan stretched out his hand to cover his mouth in shock, and after a while, he came back to his senses. Are you an ascended swordsman? Then don't you have the cultivation of Dan Yuanjing? I heard that the Ascension monks have fixed human race transmission and reception platforms. How could you appear in this barren land? I'm considered an Ascension cultivator, but there was an accident during the teleportation process that caused the space node to go wrong, so I didn't teleport to the Terran reception desk. Lum Wan shrugged and said, I also fell from my realm because of my serious injury, so it's not my cultivation in the Dan Yuan realm. Senior Lu, Wu Nuan was stunned when she heard this, and for the first time showed a panicked look. Lum Wan stopped her immediately. Wu Nuan, I regard you as a friend, so you don't have to be jealous of the gap between our cultivation bases. You should treat me like before. Okay, after so many years of human affection, Wu Nuan could naturally see that Lum Wan was serious. It was rare for her to meet a close friend, and she didn't want to lose her because of restraint, so she felt relaxed. Lum Wan liked Wu Nuan's unpretentious behavior, and continued, Wu Nuan, tell me about the Guangling world. Okay, Wu Nuan nodded and said, Guangling world is divided into 4 domains: human domain, demon domain, and sea area. It is said that the strongest among them is sea area. Not familiar. The human territory is divided into 4 major states: east, south, west, and north. Each state is divided into countless large and small countries and families. Various forces are staggered. Among them, our North State is the worst in overall strength. Although the Wu family where I was born can be regarded as a small force in the local area, it is not even a family that is not in the mainstream in the entire Bizhu. Wu Nuan thought about it for a while and said apologetically, I am not valued in the family. Many things in mainland China are known through reading books, so I may not be able to answer you many things you want to know. It's okay, I just want to know about it. Lum Wan lowered her head and pondered, then raised her eyes and asked, Anuan, do you know the Nether Palace? The Nether Palace? Of course I know that. Wu Nuan nodded heavily and whispered, the Nether Palace is the top power in the human domain, and it is also the only mythical country in the human domain. Palace rule. Are all the people in the Ming Palace surnamed Ming? Lum Wan continued to ask. Wu Nuan shook his head and said, no, only the members of the Imperial family of the underworld can be given the Ming surname. Except for the members of the Imperial family of the underworld, other people in the entire continent are not allowed to use Ming as their surname, even if it is other people in the underworld. The same. Once it is discovered that someone uses the Ming surname in the human domain, but they want to seize the family and exterminate the family, no one dares to provoke the authority of the Ming Palace. Because the existence of the Nether Palace is like the royal family in the mortal world, and the imperial power is supreme, so Wu Nuan mentioned the Nether Palace with fear and respect. Lum Wan's expression did not change, but her heart was shaken. She always thought that Ming Xiu's identity must be extraordinary, but she did not expect to be such a bully. She sighed in her heart. With her current cultivation base, it would be impossible for her to get the recognition of the Underworld Palace, and it might even affect the Underworld cultivation. In order to be better together in the future and to stand side by side with Ming Xiu, she must have a trump card that makes the Underworld Palace jealous. Strength is still the most urgent need at present. This is a mainland chronicle of the human domain. You can look at it. Many things I know are seen from the inside. Wu Nuan took out a well-preserved scroll and handed it to Lum Wan. Thank you very much. Lum Wan took it over politely and looked over it. You are welcome. After half an hour, Lum Wan suddenly raised her head and asked Wu Nuan, Nuan, there is an ambush ahead, your dart team is not its opponent at all, do you want to control it or not? My evil imperial wife is too arrogant, trash against the world, BlackBelly evil wife is too arrogant. Author, Lan by Gezi. Chapter 605. Lum Wan's cultivation had recovered to Sword Sovereign at this time, and she was not in a hurry to return to Sword God. It was a rare occasion when her cultivation fell to the lowest level, and she suppressed her slow recovery to consolidate her cultivation again, and the spiritual power in her body would become more pure. At this time, it is very simple for her to take action to solve all the people who were ambushed in the canyon. Wu Nuan was stunned and asked, Mu Yan, do you know there is someone in ambush in the canyon in front of you? 1 sword sect and 3 sword emperors, and more than 10 sword kings and sword spirits, Lum Wan said lazily. Wu Nuan's eyes widened. What? There are actually strong swordsmen. Well, there is one. Lum Wan nodded. Wu Nuan pursed her lips and thought about it. She raised her head and said to Lum Wan, Wan, if your cultivation has not recovered to above sword sect, then you should leave first. She didn't want to involve Lum Wan on the matter of their Wu family. If Lum Wan's injuries had not recovered, how could she let her friends die for her own desires? Lum Wan chuckled lightly, it's okay, I can handle those people. Wu Nuan paused and said, then if there is anything unusual at that time, you should leave first. Okay, Lum Wan knew that Wu Nuan only had a limited vision of Sword King Xiaowei, and she was not sure if she talked too much. Then I'll go and remind the elders of the family first, Wu Nuan said with a sigh. Let's go. Lum Wan guessed that Wu Nuan was about to hit a nail, but that's fine. If such a family leaves early, they won't be tied down, and they will have a broader space for development. As expected by Lum Wan, Wu Nuan quickly returned to the carriage with a sullen face. Lum Wan didn't ask any further, just reached out and patted her shoulder to comfort her. Wu Nuan's heart warmed, she hugged Lum Wan and a few tears fell from the corner of her eyes. The irony of those people kept echoing in her mind. Who do you think you are? A person with a Sword King cultivation level dares to speak up and say that there may be a sword sect in ambush ahead. Miss, don't you just hope that something happens to us? Cursing us like that? Yeah. Although you have always disliked Aya and want to get the family's attention, you should use this method to attract attention. Sister, you are too alarmist. I will tell Dad when I go back. Lum Wan sighed and asked, Nuan, why is your face disfigured? Wu Nuan's body trembled, and after a while, he said in a sob voice, my father wanted to marry me as a concubine to the head of a large family 2 years ago. That family is more than 200 years old and is about to reach its limit. Want me to go to the bliss? I didn't want to marry but couldn't resist. I had to shave all my face, and the family broke off the marriage because of the bad luck. Lum Wan's hands clenched tightly, her brows furrowed slightly. What about your mother? My mother was my father's first wife, but she died in childbirth when she gave birth to her younger brother. The younger brother only lived for more than a month and died of illness. Then Aya's mother also became a stepwife from a concubine. Wu Nuan, his voice was a little cold when he mentioned the two of them. Lum Wan's eyes were filled with a bit of coldness, Did your mother get killed by Wu Ya's mother? Well, I have found a lot of clues in the past 2 years, but my father won't believe it. Wu Nuan was very helpless at this time. In the family, only the great elder would take care of her for her mother's sake, but because she often retreats, she can't take care of her much. If she hadn't secretly learned the alchemy technique and advanced to the second-rank alchemist, she would have already died in the hands of that vicious woman. Anuan, do you want revenge? Lu Muan reached out and stroked Anuan's hair, feeling like he was treating his sister. Wu Nuan got out of Lu Muan's arms with tears in her eyes, looked at her and said, I want to avenge my mother in my dreams. Then what if your father was also the driving force behind your mother's death? Lu Muan continued to ask. She knew that such a situation might be cruel to Wu Nuan, but she had to face her and see the reality clearly. People can be kind, but they can't be soft on evil people. Without Daddy Wu Nuan's connivance, how could Wu Ya's mother dare to murder the mistress behind the head of the family? A father actually disregards his daughter's life and wants to marry her to an old man over 200 years old who is about to go into a coffin, and you can see how vicious his heart is. If such a scumbag were replaced by her, it would be better for him and that bitch to die. Wu Nuan was stunned, tears kept falling down like beads with a broken thread. She should have figured it out a long time ago, right? If there is no cold-hearted father, how could her mother die unexpectedly? That dystocia was definitely condoned by his father, but he never wanted to believe it before. Now it suddenly seemed like she was relieved. She lowered her head and pondered, and Lu Muan didn't say much. After a while, Wu Nuan raised her eyes and looked at Lu Muan firmly. Muan, if my mother's death and my father are involved, then I will definitely make him worse than death like that vicious woman. It's just that the Wu family's strength is not bad. It's very difficult for me to take revenge. Wu Nuan didn't want to take revenge, but he kept quietly increasing his strength, but it was still out of reach. It's okay, one day you will be able to kill your enemy, Lu Muan said with a smile. Anuan, after you arrive at Qingzhou Fukan, you can leave with me. Leaving together? Where are we going? Wu Nuan asked in confusion. Let's go to the Guangling world together. There is always a sky that belongs to us. Lu Muan's whole body burst into a confident brilliance. Wu Nuan's confused eyes gradually lit up, her eyes full of trust and dependence on Lu Muan. Okay, Muan, I'll leave with you. She had already had enough of that family. If this was an opportunity, she would rather live outside than stay at home. And after going out, there might be an opportunity for revenge. She clenched the hand hidden in her sleeve, and her heart was full of excitement. There was an arc on Lu Muan's lips. She was right, Wu Nuan was kind but not ignorant. As for the Wu family, she could destroy them all with one finger, but she wouldn't do that. Wu Nuan will grow up slowly, and when she returns to Wu's house again, she will definitely make those people gouging their eyes and thinking how blind they used to be to abandon the pearl and hold a fake pearl. When the team entered the canyon, a wave of UN force came. Lu Muan raised her eyebrows, and those people started to act. Haha. An old voice echoed in the canyon, containing the coercion of the sword sect. Kill. Then he stopped laughing and shouted fiercely. Yes. All the Wu family members in the 3 carriages got off the carriages in fear. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My evil imperial wife is too arrogant, trash against the world. BlackBelly evil wife is too arrogant. Author, Lan by Gezi. Chapter 606. Everyone from the Wu family got off the carriage. Lu Muan and Wu Nuan were no exception. Looking at the sword sect in the air, the first elder bravely hugged the man and said respectfully, I don't know what offends my Wu family, but I hope the seniors forgive me. The sword sect sneered, your Wu family did not offend me, but I am very interested in what you are guarding. Hearing his words, the people of the Wu family changed their faces. If the dart was lost this time, their Wu family would not have to mix in the city, but if they didn't give the dart car to these people, their lives would be lost. Senior, the ancestor of our Wu family is also a strong swordsman. I don't know if we can give him a face and let us go, and it will be rewarded in another day, the elder continued respectfully. Haha. The sword sect laughed and sarcastically said, even the junior sword sect of your Wu family dares to let the old man give face. It is easy for the old man to destroy your Wu family. Senior, we don't want the dart this time, can you let us go? The third elder grabbed the first elder who was about to speak and stepped forward. They are not opponents of others at all. It is simply whimsical to protect the escort car. Instead of losing the escort car and killing people, it is better to take the initiative to give up the escort car. I am interested in the dart car, and I am also interested in your lives. You are not qualified to bargain with me, the sword sect said disdainfully. Then a monster at the early stage of the 7th order that looked extremely vicious and ugly flew out from his spirit beast ring. When he saw the group of people, their eyes lit up and their saliva dropped. Now the people of the Wu family have reacted, and they have never been prepared to let them go from beginning to end. The monsters in the early stage of the 7th rank are comparable to the strength of the 1st rank of Jianzhong, and they are not against them at all. At this time, the faces of the Wu family were pale, and they were shaking and shivering by the pressure released by the ugly monster. Hey! The sword sect inadvertently swept across Lum Wen, who was standing beside the first carriage. His eyes lit up, extremely wretched. I didn't expect to encounter such a high-quality product in such a remote place. Little beauty, you, the old man wants it. The sword sect pointed at Lum Wen and laughed. You are allowed to become the 100th furnace of the old man. The number is very good and auspicious. Haha. The others said in response, the boss is really lucky today. He actually met such a stunning little beauty. I wonder if we can let us play after we get tired of it. The sword sect laughed disgustingly. No problem, didn't all the furnaces in the past be played for you? This time it's the best, I guess you'll have to wait a little longer. Haha, then thank you boss. Several people stared at Lum Wen, and they just wanted to go up and bully him now. Wu Nuan held her hands tightly, and she said to Lum Wen, Wen, let's go, this is a bunch of demons. The rest of the Wu family couldn't help but feel even more scared when they heard the conversation, especially Wu Yat and another woman from the Wu family, who shrank their bodies and lowered their heads immediately, for fear of being used as a furnace by these people. Lum Wen's eyes became colder, and she cast a soothing look on Wu Nuan. She raised her head and said nonchalantly, you dare to hit me on the head, it seems that you are really tired of living. I don't know what kind of death you want. Divide the body or be burned. There was an endless murderous aura on her body. These people are surrounded by a lot of dead energy, especially the ugly monster has a lot of resentment, which shows that they have killed many innocent people, and it is common for them to rob them. Lum Wen was not going to let the people of the Wu family leave her alone, but now that these people want to bully her, they must be ready to die. Killing these robbers can also be regarded as killing the people. Haha. The sword sect laughed loudly. The tone of the little beauty is really not small. I like this little pepper. Before he could fully say what he wanted to say lightly, suddenly a golden sword chi flew out from the extra golden longsword in Lum Wen's hand, and immediately strangled him and the monster on the ground to pieces. Oh my god. Run, this woman is a strong sword sovereign. A sword sovereign who was present immediately shouted in horror and flew into the distance. The others also fled in all directions, for fear that she would be dismembered if one slow step. Lum Wen glanced at it lightly, and snorted coldly, where to escape. Immediately with a flick of her finger, clusters of crimson fire lotuses jumped out from between her, instantly burning the sword sovereign powerhouse who had fled. Seeing that in just a few breaths of time, the robbers who could threaten their lives were killed by Lum Wen resolutely, and the people of the Wu family, including the first elder, were completely stunned. How is this possible? Isn't this Lum Wan the waist that Wu Nuan picked up? How can it be a strong swordsman? Wan, you are amazing. Wu Nuan was worried about Lum Wan at first, but in the blink of an eye, she was so powerful, and her eyes were full of admiration. It's nothing, Lum Wan chuckled lightly. At this time, the rest of the Wu family also reacted, looking at Lum Wan with incomparable complexity in their hearts. The first elder immediately walked up to Lum Wan and said respectfully, "Thank you for your help, senior." The others immediately followed and said gratefully to Lum Wan, "Thank you for your help, senior." Wu Ya couldn't accept such a change. It can be seen that after realizing Lum Wan's method, she did not dare to shake her face or complain, and followed the others respectfully in front of Lum Wan. "I'm saving you all for Wu Nuan's sake," Lum Wan said lightly and went straight to the carriage. The people of Wu's family also knew that Lum Wan's shot was to see Wu Nuan's face, and at this time, his attitude towards Wu Nuan was much more enthusiastic. "Nuan, you should serve the seniors well," the elder instructed Wu Nuan. "Yes," Wu Nuan nodded lightly, turned and got into the carriage. The other Wu family members were very excited. "I didn't expect that the person Wu Nuan rescued at Will was actually a strong swordsman. Does that mean that their Wu family is going to develop? Okay, hurry up and hit the road," the elder instructed the others and got on the carriage. The family members thought too much. He could see that the senior Lu didn't like their Wu family. After getting on the carriage, Wu Nuan said gratefully to Lum Wan, "Wan, thank you for saving me this time." Although she will avenge the Wu family who killed her mother, she still doesn't want them to die for the first elder and fifth brother who usually take care of her. "You're welcome." Lum Wan thought for a while and said, "Wu Nuan, let's go alone when we get to Qingzhou City." "Okay," Wu Nuan nodded without hesitation. "My evil imperial wife is too arrogant, trash against the world, BlackBelly evil wife is too arrogant." Author, Lan by Gezi. Chapter 607. Qingzhou Fukan is a large trading city in Qingyu Kingdom, a middle country in the north. It extends in all directions and is close to Qingyuan Forest. It is a city where mercenaries and adventurers are concentrated. To enter Qingzhou City, you need to pay an entry fee of 3 low-quality spirit stones per person. If it were changed to the previous one, Lum Wan, a member of the Wu family, would definitely let Wu Nuan subsidize it. After all, she usually goes to the mountains to collect herbs even if she doesn't have much family resources. Her family background is not high among the younger generation, but it is not low. But now Lum Wan has become the object they want to curry favor with, let alone 3 spiritual stones, they will not hesitate to give them even 3,000. After entering the city, the Wu family first went to the place where the escort car was delivered and delivered the escort to the employer. After taking the reward, they went to a regular inn to rest. After entering the backyard of the inn, the carriage stopped. The elder and others said respectfully, "Senior Lu, we are staying at the inn." After waiting for a while, there was no echo from the carriage, and the first elder secretly cried out in his heart, and called out tentatively, "Senior Lu." Still no response. He turned and called, "Anuan, are you there?" This time, even Anuan didn't respond, and everyone present had a bad feeling in their hearts. The first elder waited for a while and opened the carriage to see that there was no one in the carriage, and a sound transmission flew out of the carriage and fell into his hands. "Elder, what about Anuan and Senior Lu?" the third elder and the others immediately asked when they saw that the elder looked wrong. The first elder sighed and said, "Anuan left a message saying that Senior Lu wants to take her away to travel to the mainland, and she will not return to Wu's house in a short time." "What?" Wu screamed, "how can she do this? Does she want to enjoy herself and abandon the family's interests when she is close to a senior?" Others also had the same idea in their hearts, and were very dissatisfied with Wu Nuan's approach. Enough, it's a blessing for Wu Nuan to be appreciated by that senior. That senior is not something we can discuss. The first elder warned the group, "You have seen the senior's methods. I advise you to get to know each other better. She values Anuan, but it doesn't mean that everyone in the Wu family will give face. Hearing his words, everyone remembered Lum Wan's previous methods and their backs became cold, but Wu Ya didn't dare to say it when she was dissatisfied, but just scolded Wu Nuan in her heart. After the people of the Wu family returned to their rooms, the first elder sighed helplessly. He has a hunch that when Wu Nuan returns to Wu's house again, the wind direction of Wu's house will definitely change greatly, and those who oppressed Wu Nuan before will eventually regret it. No matter what the Wu family thought, Lum Wan took Wu Nuan away as soon as he entered the city. The two found a relatively quiet and remote inn to stay in. After entering their room, she released several spiritual pets in the bell. Master, Meow Meow and Chawang rubbed against Lum Wan as soon as they came out. Bing Ji also said with a dog-legged smile, Master, I haven't seen you for nearly a month, it's like 3 autumns. Mo Yan consciously jumped onto Lum Wan's shoulder and lay on his back lazily, and said slowly, Recondensing you and Dan is not bad, it's a blessing in disguise. The blood turned into a wooden bracelet that wrapped around Lum Wan's wrist and rubbed it, Master. Then a azure light fell in the room, and the figure of Lei Huang turned out. When he felt the aura around him and the power of the interface, there was a rare look of joy in his eyes, and then he looked at Lum Wan in a complicated way. This time you brought me to the Guangling world, I owe you a favor, right? Okay, Lum Wan smiled impolitely. Although it was because of the power of the contract that the Thunder Emperor was sent to the Guangling world together, the favors that were gained in vain should not be given in vain. By the way, are you familiar with human domain? Lum Wan asked, looking at Lei Huang and Mo Yan. Lei Huang shrugged and said, I'm not familiar with it. Although I was born in the Guangling world, I ended up in the Tianling continent together with the competition space when I was young. Lum Wan stretched out his hand and poked Mo Yan, and he said leisurely, I have been to the human domain before, but I went to the most prosperous mainland of Zhongzhou. I am not familiar with such a barren northern land. The most prosperous mainland of China? Didn't you say that there are only 4 states in the south, north and west? Lum Wan asked in surprise. Mo Yan replied indifferently, the person you took in is not familiar with places other than the north at all, so I don't know. The mainland of Zhongzhou is the most prosperous place in the human domain. There are high-level powerhouses like clouds, and the palace built by the Nether Palace is also located there. Mo Yan paused and said, of course, ordinary people don't know about the Zhongzhou continent. Only families and sword masters who have reached a certain level of strength can know about it. It is known as the Holy Land of the human race. The Holy Land of the human race, Lum Wan asked, the headquarters of the major forces in the human domain are all there, right? Well, in addition to the Nether Palace, there are several top forces in the human realm that occupy a lot of weight in Zhongzhou. Mo Yan added, if you want to enter Zhongzhou, your strength is not enough. Lum Wan frowned and asked, by the way, after arriving in the human domain, how is the cultivation base divided? She only knew that the sword master who broke through the sword god would condense the golden core, also known as the Danyuan realm, and she knew nothing about the realm of cultivation after that. In Guangling world, apart from the ascended sword masters, most of them are aboriginal residents, so the proportion of sword masters to sword gods is still more than 2/3, and the ascended sword masters only account for very few. A part of the cultivation bases above sword god are Danyuan, Earth Yuan, Tian Yuan, and Fusion realm. I heard that breaking through the fusion realm can permanently exist in the world and become an immortal. Mo Yan thought for a while and said, but that's not the case with the current people. We are far away. Is your demon clan's realm divided like this? Lum Wan asked curiously. The demon clan became holy again when they were in the Danyuan realm, and the other 4 clans were unified. Mo Yan replied. I let go of my mental power and found that the strongest people with the highest cultivation level in Qingzhou city only have a few sword gods in charge. Some of the aborigines in the Guangling realm are not as good as the Tianling continent, Lum Weian said. This is just a distant border town in the north. The overall strength is definitely not high. Those who have been promoted to the Danyuan realm have basically gone out to join other forces. Mo Yan continued, although the aborigines in the human realm can absorb more spiritual energy and have more resources than the lower realm, there are also many people with poor qualifications, so there are many small families like the Wu family. After you enter the central city in the north, you will find that it is very different from here. If you go to Zhongzhou, you may think that it should be the real Guangling world. And Lum Weian nodded and said, since none of you are familiar with this place, I'd better go to Qingzhou city tomorrow to explore. She had asked Jun Luokan for a long time, and the former demon race was not very familiar with human domain. It really takes a good understanding before you can decide your future plans, Mo Yan agreed. Lum Weian is bound to go to the mainland of Zhongzhou in the future, but it is too early, and it is imminent for them to improve their strength together. My evil imperial wife is too arrogant, trash against the world, BlackBelly evil wife is too arrogant. Author, Lan by Gezi. Chapter 608. The next morning, Lum Weian took Wu Nuan around Qingzhou city. Qingzhou Fukan is very large, and several streets in the main urban area are bustling with people and very lively. It was not the first time that Wu Nuan came to Qingzhou city, and he was quite familiar with it. Mu Yan, what do you want to do? Lum Weian smiled and said, is there a place to sell spirit grass in Qingzhou city? Yes, there is a branch of the Underworld Union Chamber of Commerce in Qingzhou city, where everything is relatively complete, Wu Nuan replied. Lum Weian was slightly surprised, there is also the Underworld Chamber of Commerce here. Yeah. The Underworld Union Chamber of Commerce is one of the largest chambers of commerce in the human realm. Many things can be bought where there is an Underworld Union Chamber of Commerce, Wu Nuan nodded. Is the Underworld Union Chamber of Commerce an organization belonging to the Underworld? Lum Weian asked. I'm not too sure, Wu Nuan thought for a while and replied helplessly, for an organization that can start with the surname Ming, the Ming Alliance Chamber of Commerce should have something to do with the Ming Palace. After talking with Lum Weian several times, she found that she was so unfamiliar with the Guangling world, which had grown up for so long. She used to live like a frog in the well. She only knew how to sit in the well and watch the sky, but she never thought about going to the world outside the well. Of course, she really had no choice before, and now it is her greatest luck to meet Lum Weian, and she can finally stop struggling in that small world. A strange light flashed in Lum Weian's eyes, then let's go to the Mingmeng Chamber of Commerce. Wu Nuan took Lum Weian around a street and walked for about half an hour before reaching a quaint and prosperous building. This is the shop of the Mingmeng Chamber of Commerce. Their second floor will hold auctions from time to time. Business groups and mercenaries in the mainland like to trade items at the Mingmeng Chamber of Commerce. Wu Nuan pointed to the towering building and said, well, let's go in. The two walked into the shop, and immediately a blue-clothed waiter greeted them and asked with a smile, are the two young ladies looking to buy something? I want to see the spirit herbs. Lum Weian took out a list of spirit herbs that he had prepared to buy and handed it to the waiter, asking, do you have any of these? Okay, the waiter took the list and looked at it, hiding the surprise in his eyes, and said after a while, Miss, we only have 1/3 of the spirit grass you want. There are actually quite a few rare 7th level spirit grasses on this list, and none of these are for sale. Lum Weian thought about it and took out a palm-sized silver token and handed it over, look, if you buy it with a silver level VIP order. After arriving in the Guangling world, she found that the silver level Nether Alliance token that Ming Xiu had given her before had changed instantly, and a complicated and difficult text entered her mind. Only then did she know that the Underworld Alliance order given to her by Ming Xiu was the highest level purple gold order of the Underworld Alliance Chamber of Commerce. As long as it had the function of freely changing the VIP level after refining, it could be activated in the Guangling world. After refining the Underworld Alliance order, she can freely control the level of the VIP order. In order not to be very conspicuous, she still transformed it into a silver VIP order. When the waiter saw the Silver Underworld Alliance decree, his eyes showed a look of shock, and he immediately said respectfully, "Miss, please go to the private room on the third floor with me, and I'll ask the steward in charge of the silver level VIP to come here." Okay, Lum Weian's face was pale. Wu Nuan was extremely surprised, but there was no strange expression on her face, and she followed up to the third floor. After sitting down, she didn't ask Lum Weian about the Ming Alliance order. She only needed to know that Lum Weian was a person worthy of her trust, and the others would not deliberately inquire. After the two sat down, a maid came in and made a pot of spirit tea. Lum Weian took a sip of the spirit tea, looked at Wu Nuan and said, "Aren't you asking me anything?" "I believe you," Wu Nuan replied with a smile. Lum Weian felt a lot of joy after hearing her words. Wu Nuan had a clear mind and a very likable temperament. "The list I just gave contains the spirit grass for refining the muscle building pill. As long as I buy it all back, I can refine the muscle creating pill to heal the wound on your face," Lum Weian said with a teacup. "Shenji Dan can rejuvenate people's skin. The disfigured wounds on Wu Nuan's face are all scratched by her. As long as she takes Shenji Dan, the wounds on her face can be restored, and her appearance can be restored naturally." Wu Nuan's eyes widened, and he hesitantly said, "Mu Yan, you mean me, can my appearance be restored?" "Yeah. After taking Shenji Dan, the skin on your face will heal and rejuvenate, and your appearance will be restored within 3 days." Lum Weian nodded with a smile. There was a mist in Wu Nuan's eyes, and he said gratefully, "Mu Yan, thank you." Before she was forced to disfigure her heart, it was false to say that she had no regrets and sadness. Women all have a love for beauty, and if they were forced to wear a veil forever, no one would be able to show them. "You and I don't have to be so polite," Lum Weian replied with a smile. Then there was a knock on the door. "Come in," Lum Weian said lightly. A stunning young woman dressed in a rose-red dress, with a delicate and beautiful appearance, walked in. When Lum Weian saw the person coming, a flash of surprise flashed across his eyes. This woman turned out to be the auctioneer Len Yi at the auction in the competition space. At the same time, Len Yi was surprised when he saw that the person sitting in the private room was Lum Weian. "I didn't expect to see Miss Lu in Guangling World so soon." Len Yi's voice was still soft, and she did not hide her surprise. Lum Weian chuckled, "I didn't expect Miss Leng to be from the Guangling World." Len Yiying smiled. Miss Lu laughed. She was indeed sent to Tianling continent for some reason. Lum Weian's mental power was strong without the interface suppression, and naturally found that the current Len Yi is not the body, but a clone of sword sex cultivation. She always felt that Len Yi's avatar in Tianling continent should have something to do with Mingxiu. "I heard that Miss Lu wants to buy spirit grass this time." Although Len Yi was curious about why Lum Weian didn't transmit to the fixed reception platform of the Ascension Sword Master, and his cultivation base was only Sword Master, he didn't ask much. Everyone has their own secrets. Judging from the information sent back by the clone in the lower realm in the competition space, she has a good impression of Lum Weian as a genius. "Well, I don't know if I can buy all the spirit grass I want with a silver level VIP order." Lum Weian felt pretty good when she saw Len Yi in the competition space last time, and asked straight to the point with a smile. Len Yi pondered for the next time and said, "Some of the spirit grasses you want are rare spirit grasses of level 7, and one of them is not available. We can gather the rest for you." "Is it that kind?" Lum Weian asked. Len Yi pointed to the list and said, "Dragon beard grass doesn't have it." Lum Weian frowned. Dragon's beard grass is the main material of the medicinal pill that she needs to refine to promote the sword god to break through the Danyuan realm to condense the top quality golden pill. If you don't have it, it will be troublesome. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My evil imperial wife is too arrogant, trash against the world, BlackBelly evil wife is too arrogant author, Lan by Gezi. Chapter 609. Lum Wan frowned slightly and thought deeply for a while. Miss Leng, then do you know where to buy dragon's whisker grass? Len Yi shook his head and said, although dragon beard grass is only a 7th grade spirit grass, because the conditions for growth are too special, and it is the main spirit grass for refining several 7th grade high-grade medicinal herbs, it has spread throughout the continent. There are very few, and once they appear, they will be acquired by high-quality alchemists or top forces. Even the headquarters of the Underworld Union Chamber of Commerce does not have any stock of dragon's whiskers, she added. Lum Wan lightly rubbed the teacup with his fingers, raised his eyes after a while and asked, it's almost the season of the dragon's beard grass, so where will the dragon's beard grass appear? The core of Qingyuan Forest is the place where the dragon's beard grass thrives. Len Yi thought for a while and said, I came to Qingzhou City specially this time to buy the dragon's beard grass and other species of Qingyuan Forest before it was produced. Spirit grass. Thank you Miss Leng for telling me, Lum Wan said with a light smile, then please get me all the other spirit grasses I need, as many as you want. By the way, if there are spirit grass seeds and seedlings, I would like to buy them together, she added after a pause. Len Yi has some doubts in her heart why Lum Wan buys so many rank 7 spirit herbs. Could it be that she is already a rank 7 alchemist? After thinking about it, it seems that the possibility is not too big. After all, she received the task to drop a projection clone on Tianling continent and it has not been a few years since she saw Lum Wan again. The last time she came to the clone and cooperated with the Underworld Emperor to collect the spirit grass and several unique spar in the independent competition space, she paid special attention to Lum Wan, who also likes to buy spirit grass. At that time, she judged that her alchemy might be around the 4th rank. In such a short period of time, it was impossible for Lum Wan to become a 7th rank alchemist so quickly. Could it be that she has committed another habit of collecting spirit herbs? Okay, I'll make arrangements now. Doubts turned to doubts. Len Yi did not have a hobby to explore other people's privacy. With a silver VIP token, Lum Wan has the qualification to buy rare spirit grasses below level 8, and she has a good impression of her, so she still has the right to trade all the inventory here to the other party. After a while, Len Yi reappeared in the private room with a space ring. Miss Lu, this is what you want. There are a total of 38.5 million low-grade spirit stones. Since you are a silver level VIP, you can take a fraction of 500,000, Len Yi said with a smile. Lum Wan's heart moved, and he put 38 million low-grade spirit stones in a space ring for trading and handed it to Len Yi. Look at it. After Len Yi took the space ring, she thought about taking out a communication talisman of her own and gave it to Lum Wan. Miss Lu, this is my communication talisman, you can come to me if you have anything in the future. Okay, Lum Wan took the communication talisman and said with a smile, thank you. You are welcome. By the way, Miss Leng, does your Chamber of Commerce introduce books or maps of Guangling continent? Lum Wan asked. Yes, but the entire Tianling continent is extremely vast. The records of the other 3 clans are only approximate. The human domain is more detailed, but it is only a general understanding, Len Yi replied. I want a copy. Lum Wan didn't know anything about Renaiu, so it would be nice if he could find some general information. Len Yi gave an order to the blue-clothed messenger behind her, and the man immediately took out a jade slip and handed it to Lum Wan. Miss Lu, this is the highest level map and profile of human domain. Okay, Lum Wan looked at Len Yi and asked, how many spiritual stones is this jade slip? It's just a jade slip. I gave it to you. Len Yi smiled and said, Miss Lu, what are you going to do next? Do you need any help? Thank you Miss Leng for your kindness, I want to go out alone, Lum Wan declined with a smile. Although I don't know why Len Yi is so friendly towards her, She is not ready to trouble others. Okay, I'll have a chance to see you another day. Len Yi didn't force it. Well, Miss Len will have an appointment in the future. After speaking, Lum Weian took Wu Nuan and left the Mingmeng Chamber of Commerce. As soon as the two left, a black shadow appeared in the private room. How can you be so polite and friendly to a little guy with sword sex strength? The voice of that person was a middle-aged man. She is a very interesting little guy. I like her. Lila's popular style and temperament. Len Yi glanced at the black shadow lightly. If she breaks out into her own world in the Guangling world, we can recruit them to the Underworld Alliance Chamber of Commerce. Len Yi, do you look down on her too much? Black Shadow said indifferently. Len Yi said with a playful smile, I'll see if I look up. Her affection for Lum Weian was purely a feeling. She always felt that this little girl would be extraordinary in the future. The most important thing is that this little girl feels good to her. She always does things as she pleases. It doesn't matter how much someone she likes takes care of her, and she can do it with a few knives in the back of someone who doesn't like her. Black Shadow knew Len Yi's temperament, and guessed that she should be more pleasing to the little girl. What are you doing here? Len Yi asked. The Black Shadow said, I'm going to Qingyuan Forest to find a kind of spiritual spar. Well, this time I came to Qingzhou Fukan to buy several kinds of spirit grasses unique to Qingyuan Forest. If you see a mercenary being sold, buy it for me. Len Yi then threw an order to Sombra. Understood. After Lum Weian came out with Wu Nuan, he went to several places specializing in selling spirit grass, but he couldn't find dragon's whisker grass. She heard that it was the breeding season of the dragon's whiskers recently, and many large mercenary groups would organize to search deep in the core of Qingyuan Forest. However, once it is found, it will be monopolized and acquired by Danlu or several major chambers of commerce through special channels, and it will not flow out at all. Dragon beard grass is a kind of companion grass called dragon beard beast. It is one of the main materials of several 7th grade and 8th grade primary medicinal herbs. It is seasonal and only grows where dragon beard beast lives, so it is very scarce. Mu Yan, are you in urgent need of dragon's beard grass? Wu Nuan asked. Lum Weian nodded. Well, let's go to the mercenary union to see. The mercenary union? Wu Nuan asked in confusion. The mercenary union may have a mission to go to the depths of Qingyuan Forest. I want to go and see. Lum Weian replied with a smile. According to her recent knowledge, the top forces in the Guangling world are not only the Pill Tower, the Refining Pavilion, the Formation Alliance and the Beast Control Tower, but the Dark Market and the Mercenary Union are also two major organizations that are separate from the four major forces. The Dark Market of Guanglingja is also an underground dark organization, but it is not controlled by demons like Tianlingja, but a real human power. The status of the Mercenary Union in the Guangling world is much stronger than that in the Tianling continent, and its appeal is even higher than the four major forces. She had a plan in mind, so she decided to visit the Mercenary Union. My evil Imperial wife is too arrogant, trash against the world. BlackBelly evil wife is too arrogant. Author, Lan by Gezi. Chapter 610. On the most prosperous street in Qingzhou City, there is a huge building standing in the center, and people are constantly coming in and out, which is very lively. As soon as Lum Weian appeared at the door with Wu Nuan, she received a lot of people's astonishing glances. After all, there were hardly any beautiful and temperamental women like Lum Weian on the northern border. Lum Weian and Wu Nuan walked into the door calmly. There were two places with the most people in the hall. Lum Weian swept it with his mental power and found that one was the task announcement wall, and the other was the registration desk for mercenaries to ask and accept tasks. Lum Weian ignored the eyes glued to her and dragged Wu Nuan to a registration desk with a small number of people in line. In front of them, a mercenary group was registering for a mission. After seeing Lum Weian, who was dressed in a lavender dress, which was beautiful and refined, and unparalleled beauty, several people's eyes went straight. Miss, "Are you here to issue a mission or accept a mission?" A handsome young man turned around and accosted him with a smile, "Why don't you go first?" Lum Wan saw that although there was a look of surprise in his eyes, but he was not frivolous or obscene. He replied lightly, "Don't bother. No trouble, we still have to wait for someone anyway, please invite them first." The young man and gentleman made a gesture of invitation. Lum Wan glanced at him, "Okay, thank you so much." She was no longer polite, and dragged Wu Nuan to the front of several people. The young handsome man saw that the beauty was so straightforward and unpretentious, and there was a layer of interest in his eyes. At this time, the steward in charge of the mercenary registration office was a middle-aged man. He looked at Lum Wan and said with a gentle smile, "Miss, do you want to issue a task or accept a task?" "Accept the task," Lum Wan blurted out. The middle-aged man was slightly surprised. He thought that the two were here to issue a mission, but he didn't show any doubts. He continued to ask with a smile, "Miss, do you have a mercenary badge?" "No, can we register one now?" She had a mercenary badge in Tianling continent, but it was different from the badge that someone in the hall had just seen. The middle-aged man took out 2 pieces of information for the two to fill out, and asked to have their own spiritual imprints printed on them. After he finished, he looked at them and said, "One mercenary registration needs 10 low-grade spirit stones," and handed over 2 badges engraved with the spirit of the two. Lum Wan took out 20 low-grade spirit stones and handed them over and asked, "Have you been on a mission to Qingyuan Forest recently?" "There are quite a lot of tasks in Qingyuan Forest." The middle-aged man thought about it and took out a task booklet and pushed it in front of Lum Wan. "These are all tasks in Qingyuan Forest. You can take a look, miss." Lum Wan looked down at some of the quests in the booklet, and roughly understood the mercenaries and quest levels in the Guangling world. The levels of mercenaries and tasks are divided into 9 levels, from level 1 to level 9, with level 1 being the lowest and level 9 being the highest. The level of the mercenary group is also from the 1st to the 9th level, but the 9th level mercenary group can be regarded as a big force in the entire human domain, and the 9th level mercenary is also very strong and difficult to provoke. "What are the conditions for this person's mission recruitment?" Lum Wan asked the middle-aged man while looking at a 4th level mission without written conditions. "The tasks of the mercenary group are highly differentiated. From the 4th level and above, it needs Jianzong and Jianzun to complete." The mission she chose was to go deep into the Qingyuan forest to capture 20 dragon-bearded beasts, which required at least the 7th rank. This task is very suitable for her. While catching the dragon's beast, you can find and dig the dragon's beard grass by the way. This task requires recruiting a 3rd-grade pharmacist with at least a Sword Emperor cultivation base. The middle-aged man paused and pointed to the handsome man behind Lum Wan and said, "They are the mercenary group recruited for this mission just announced, because they haven't finished yet, so the conditions haven't been added yet, you can talk about it yourself." "Talk." The young man listened to Lum Wan's inquiries about their quest, and immediately leaned over and smiled and said, "Miss, do you want to participate in this quest? This is a quest we received from the royal family of the Qingyu Empire, and a 3rd-grade pharmacist is needed." Then he continued with a smile and said, "Of course, with the strength of Miss Jianzong's cultivation base, you can also participate in our mercenary group's mission. We are recruiting a pharmacist." Wu Nuan knew that the dragon beard grass was very important to Lum Wan, and she was only a sword king, so if she followed into the Qingyuan forest, it would definitely be a hindrance. "Mu Yan, I don't think they are bad people because of their faces. If you want dragon beard grass to enter Qingyuan forest with them, it's not bad." Wu Nuan voiced to Lum Wan, "My current cultivation is too low, I can't enter the depths of Qingyuan forest at all, I'll stay in Qingzhou city and wait for you." Lum Wan thought for a while and replied, "Okay, during this time, you can stay in Qingzhou city to improve your cultivation." Wu Nuan is very good in both cultivation talent and alchemy talent, but he used to accumulate resources to cultivate by himself, and he has never learned any advanced exercises, so his cultivation base stayed at the high-level Sword King. After she went back, she first gave her a pill to wash the marrow, and after washing the marrow, she could break through to the Sword Emperor by taking a nourishing pill. In the depths of Qingyuan Forest, it is extremely dangerous to enter the Sword Sect and may die at any time. She can protect Wunuan, but she is also afraid of sudden accidents. Dragon beard grass is very important to her level of condensing golden pills, so she is bound to get to Qingyuan Forest. Seeing that Lum Wan was contemplating, the handsome young man continued to invite with a smile, "Miss, we are a fourth-level mercenary group, and we have gone to the depths of Qingyuan Forest many times, both in terms of exploration and combat experience. Rich. I'm a fourth-grade pharmacist and a swordsman with sword sect cultivation." Lum Wan raised her eyebrows and asked, "How do you get paid?" "Our mercenary group dispatched this time, plus you, there are 11 people in total, and the commission is divided by head." The young man chuckled and said, "After completing the task, each person will receive 2 million low-grade spirit stones. This number is a large amount for many sword sects who are not big families." The young man saw that Lum Wan had heard her words and his eyes were flat, and the hidden interest in his eyes was even stronger. "Then do you pick dragon's whiskers?" Lum Wan continued to ask. "Of course, if we encounter dragon's beard grass, we will definitely not let it go. After all, the value of 2 dragon's beard grass is comparable to our mission commission." This time the man paused and said, "Dragon beard grass found. The number is also divided according to the head." Lum Wan frowned slightly. "What if I find the dragon's beard grass by myself?" "If you find the dragon's beard grass and you can get it without our help, then it's yours," a middle-aged man behind the young man said, "but if you need our assistance, you must share it together." The young man listened to the big man next to him and did not speak again, apparently agreeing. "Okay." Lum Wan also felt that this condition was appropriate. She nodded and asked, "When do you leave?" "We still have a few people rushing to Qingzhou. How about meeting at the gate of the palace 3 days later?" the young man said with a smile. "Okay. See you in 3 days."